Welcome to the 1031 Exchange Passive Income and Investment Series. This show is brought to you by 1031navigator.com. 1031 Navigator is the best way to plan, execute, and complete your 1031 exchange with peace of mind and confidence while saving you both time and money.
Hey everybody, Thomas here. Hope you're doing well. Back here on the airwaves, I have a little rant for you, but I'll get to that in a minute. Super excited about the podcast and what's happening. Former and current clients or past clients are really digging it, and they love the useful information. And actually have people who are new to real estate investing and triple net properties and just trying to learn the ins and outs, commenting and sending me emails about their questions, and they're excited just to learn the business. And then I'm actually getting some new clients who are in 1031s and have a current buy need. We're working on this week for $1.2 million. I actually have two new leads this week from the podcast directly. Both clients are in 1031s. One is $1.2 million cash. One is $850, or actually $950 cash. And they're both already closed. And we're looking at fast food, Sherwin-Williams, Dollar General, some other things in the smaller price point, things like that. So if you have anything, if you're a broker or a seller, make sure to send that our way. But when I was looking for one of those buy needs this morning, one of these deals caught my eyes, and I got pretty fired up and wanted to do this little rant. And I'm sure you've seen it before, and I just want to read something to you here. So, $1.1 million, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Midwest location. And they're asking a 6.5 cap. And that was really my first telltale sign that maybe the deal, there's some hair on the deal or something's off with it when it's a 15-year absolute net deal, good location, just renovated, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to just read to you the description, and you'll see what my rant is in a minute. So this is beginning quote. Kentucky Fried Chicken, more commonly known by its initials, KFC, is an American fast food restaurant chain that specializes in fast food. Headquartered in blah, 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 it is the world's second largest restaurant chain as measured by sales, after McDonald's, with almost 20,000 locations globally in 123 countries and territories. The chain is a subsidiary of Yum Brands, a restaurant company that owns Pizza Hut and Taco Bell chains. KFC had sales of $23 billion in 2013. By December 2013, there was 18,875 KFC outlets in 118 countries. There are 4,563 outlets in China, 4,000 blah, blah, blah in the United States, 9,821 across the rest of the world. Outlets are owned by franchisees or directly by the company. 11% of outlets are owned by the company, with the rest operated by franchise holders. Although capital-intensive, company ownership allows for faster expansion of the chain. End quote. So with that description, I got to thinking, this must be a corporate store, either corporate KFC or corporate Yum, or maybe a very big franchisee with that description. So I went back through the marketing material, and I'm scanning it again here. Blah, blah, blah about the location and the economy and the tourism. And here's all the bullet points. Brand new 15-year lease, absolute triple net, 0 landlord responsibilities, operating since 1993 at this location, completely remodeled by tenant in 2011. And then I get down, buried here in the middle of like 10 bullet points, it says experienced franchisee. Okay, so there's a hint that we know this lease is not going to be a corporate lease. So then I thought, okay, I'll go download the offering memorandum and see if they disclose, this is one of the biggest brokerages in the country. See if they disclose somewhere in here who the franchisee is or how many units are on the lease. So I downloaded the OM, and sure enough, there was no information about who is actually on the hook of the lease. And I have an episode I've already recorded, haven't posted it yet, and I think it's Triple Net Secret 293, and it's called Who is on the Hook, and it covers this more in detail. But at the end of the day, when you buy these assets, you're looking for who guarantees payment of the rent. And so I went ahead, I called the broker, and I said, hey, what's going on with the guarantee on the lease? And he says to me, oh, well, this is a great deal. It's actually a 450 unit franchisee. And I said, oh, really? And he says, well, but actually the lease is a 6-unit LLC. And then he gave me this long-winded story about how there's only 6 KFCs in this portfolio, and the other 400 and something units are Pizza Huts. And so they had to limit who actually signs the lease. So that always kind of frustrates me, because when they make it sound like it's KFC corporate or Yum Brands on the hook for the lease, or even if they said, in the marketing material, they didn't give any numbers in the marketing material, but even if they would have said 450 unit franchisee, and then you come to find out that the actual LLC guaranteeing the lease is only a 6-unit operator. Fast food operators, let's say on average, do like $1 million per store. So let's say that's a $6 million revenue set guaranteeing the lease. And yeah, some of the stores might do $1.5 million. Some of the stores might do $800,000, but let's say $1 million. So that's $6 million. And then when you get the balance sheet, typically as part of these transactions, the fast food operators don't keep any real assets in the balance sheet. So there's, they don't really own any real estate, and all they have is goodwill and blue sky and inventory and maybe, some retained earnings, et cetera. So there's really not much assets guaranteeing the lease at all. So you have a 6.5 cap, 15-year deal with only $6 million of revenue guaranteeing the lease. And so one, that's my rant, is the frustration of you don't have 20,000 locations or 9,000 locations or this big, huge brand guaranteeing the lease. You have a little 6-unit LLC that an operator could easily send into bankruptcy or have issues with, and you're totally out of luck. You're not going to get your rent check. And I've had investors tell me that before, that they bought Arby's. I didn't sell it to them, but they bought Arby's or Church's Chicken or other mainline fast food brands that they thought was the big corporate tenant. I actually had a Burger King in Denver. The guy thought he had bought a Burger King, and I met with him and I said, no, this is like a 2-unit LLC. And he had no clue. He had owned it for 5 years. He'd been getting the rent, but he was having issues with getting the last few months of rent. So he was thinking about selling it. And sure enough, that tenant, that local operator, went bankrupt during the recession and didn't pay him. And then he ended up with a vacant fast food restaurant that was very hard to release or to re-tenant, and they ended up having to sell it at a pretty major loss, and they put like a dental office or something in there. But needless to say, when you buy these deals, you got to check out the marketing and who's really on the hook for the lease. And let's say this this KFC compared to, let's say, a Dollar General. Right now, Dollar General's revenues were around $26 billion last time I checked, and their net worth was around $5.5 billion. And I can sell you a Dollar General all day long at a 6.5 cap or even close to a 7 cap. And yeah, some of the locations might not be as good as this KFC, but the deals I'm selling, like the one I just sold in Ohio last week, had a great location with really good traffic counts, population, growing area, and it was an undersupplied area that Dollar General is going to do very, very well in that location. So if you had a choice to have your rent payment come from a $6 million revenue company in a little tiny 2,500 square foot building, or have your rent come from a big publicly traded investment grade credit tenant like Dollar General. There's other ones out there like Sherwin-Williams. They're A-rated and have multiple billions of revenue and net worth as well. For a higher cap rate in a bigger building that you can actually reuse and do something with if you ever needed to in the future, which one would you choose? So I'm really sick of the broker marketing, and I know they have investors that fall for it. And, sorry, brokers, if I'm being too truthful about your misleading and false advertising, but that's just the nature of it. And yeah, you might get people, like I said, that fall for it. But, I don't know why you don't just market it up front as to what the deal is. It's got a decent cap rate. So maybe some people would be okay with a 6-unit guarantee at a 6.5 cap, and that's fine. And, I know if it was a Yum Brands deal, it'd be trading in the mid-5 cap or, even low 5 caps, depending on the location. But why don't you just be straightforward on your marketing, let people know what they're getting, and don't try and pull the rug over people's eyes. We work with smart, sophisticated, high net worth investors, and people know what's going on. So don't try and trick them, and don't try and trick the brokers either. So that's my rant for today. If you have questions or rants or raves or whatever, I'd love to hear from you. And you can hit us up at the website, 1031navigator.com, or you can text me directly, and that's Thomas, 970-618-4086. Again, text 970-618-4086. Happy to answer your questions and hear what you have going on, and have a good week out there.
Thanks for listening to the 1031 Exchange Passive Income and Investment Series. To help create, grow, and protect your wealth with 1031 exchanges and triple net properties, visit 1031navigator.com or call 1-866-539-1777. Again, call 1-866-539-1777. Make sure to remember to ask Thomas about our 1031 VIP program. You can put thousands of dollars in your pocket on your next 1031. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review it where your podcasts are peddled. And if you have a friend considering a 1031, make sure to share this show with them. A referral is the best compliment we can receive. Thanks for listening, and see you again soon. And remember, this show is provided for your informational and educational purposes only. Be sure to check with your accountant, lawyer, and/or other tax professionals and advisors before relying on this information. Although the information contained herein is believed to be accurate and reliable, we do not guarantee its accuracy or completeness, and it is provided without warranty. Common sense is the best practice.